He just got mad at me. Well, he didn't really get mad at me, but he was like on my case because I was like, stop talking. I have to hit record. You don't want to let all the gold roll out before we hit record.
You wasted the good surprise.
I'm just saying. First of all, like I said last week, I just address the elephant in the room. No, I did not wake up like this. No, we did not just get done working out. No, I did not do my hair like this. It just conveniently worked out today that I had a hair appointment and we had to bump back recording. And so here we are. So enjoy this one episode where I look put together.
Episode 4, where she's not a complete hot mess.
That's
But just stop for 1 second. Hey, welcome to Life Unfiltered, the podcast where me, Justin Deweese, and my wife, Ashley Deweese, share just all sorts of random crap with you. That's how you start a podcast.
Oh, thanks. I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Not, well, he just got mad at me and I look at my hair.
Hey, it's our podcast. Popping. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, I would just prefer to do it the right way.
How about our old buddy Mark Crosby this week saying like, oh, hey, my wife's listening to your podcast and our daughter going, and we were validated. Why don't you tell them how we were validated?
Well, we were sitting in the stands and, we were carrying on like we carry on because she's her and I'm me.
We were at a basketball game for our kids at the school. Hey, I'm sorry, but we have listeners that are like me and we want those details. Like, where were you? What was going on? People like me do.
Okay, so the girls' team was warming up and we were sitting there and we were going back and forth.
Don't be an a-hole. Finish the point.
And Mark said, hey, my wife has been listening to your guys' podcast. And he's like, I feel like she's sitting here and her phone is on and I'm listening to the podcast. And I was like, hey, listen, this is who we are. Like, it don't stop.
Like I told him, I would love to say that, we put on some show here that's just completely scripted and laid out and whatever. Actually, I wouldn't like to say that. But the point is, this is what you get. Like, whether it's through this recording video or whether you're sitting right with us in the real world. My dad always hated when we called things like the real world. He's like, this is the real world. Like, everything that it's the real world. We probably don't want to go down that rabbit hole with you today.
No.
So today we thought that we would spice it up a little bit because, you got to do that from time to time in relationships. Yes. Man, you are just giving me all of the amazing vibes coming through that screen today. It is so awesome.
Our relationship is spicy all the time.
Is it? I mean, it is.
Sometimes in ways you don't want, but it's spicy.
That's true. No, I don't even know how long ago now, for one of our date nights. First of all, as we shared, this podcast and the way that we're handling it is truly partially out of just how we enjoy talking to one another, right? Like, we just ever since we got together, that we've just been able to have good conversations together.
That's why I wanted to get together with you.
Was it?
I was slinging beers at that bar one night and I was like, you know what? That girl looks like she'd be an interesting conversation.
I'm sure. While I was ignoring you.
Look at that mouth. I bet that mouth can give some good conversation.
Oh my God. And I did give you some good conversation.
You did
later.
And you continue to give me good conversation.
On another date. But we I bought this box. That's what I started to say. I bought this box. Oh, we were together, weren't we? We were in Target when we bought this. But I think I found it. I was like, well, this would be fun. Anyway.
Okay, sure. You know what? You found it. You bought it.
Some things just aren't worth arguing over. We're not really strangers is like either the company or the series. And this is couples edition. We're not really strangers. So anyways, it's a box of conversation cards. I have questions on them, levels 1, 2, and 3. They all mean different things. That is neither here nor there. Anyways, we bought it to use on our date nights because we'll do another episode on date night in particular. But sometimes for our date night, we will go to a local hotel. Don't get it twisted. We'll go to a local hotel
Leave
and
the
we
curtains
will
open.
just we'll sit in
Oh,
the
wait.
lobby. We'll sit in the lobby and we'll just like talk. Like we'll go grab smoothies or smoothie bowls or energy drinks or whatever, and we will just sit and talk. But I was like,
Get
it'd be
that
kind of
good
fun.
conversation.
It'll be kind of fun to get some of those question cards, right? Because I mean, we can talk about anything, but sometimes when you have prompts, it leads you to talk about things that you just wouldn't have necessarily thought about talking about. So I thought it would be kind of fun if we just use some of these cards today, um, and did the podcast on it. So, do you want to go first? What?
Sure. What would you tell
Stop
yourself?
it! Move the card.
What would you tell yourself on our first date if you had the chance?
Oh, that seems like forever ago, doesn't it?
Well, I mean,
Because 14,
it was a while ago.
14 years. Thank you. In July, we covered
That's how
that
long
on a
we've been
previous.
married. That was not a date, FYI.
Okay, but it's been about 14 years, 15 years.
Yes.
Anyways, um, but see, okay, see, eh, this is me. What would you consider our first date? Like, do you consider that night at the bar our first date? Would you consider the night at Porter's our first
What
date?
night, which bar?
I mean, right. The night at Kites, Halloween night, right?
No,
That's
that
kind
wasn't
of
a date,
that
you
wasn't a date.
hillbilly.
That was and I don't really think that Porter's was the first date because it wasn't really a date, like, because there were other people there.
Well, and I would
Does
like
it
to
count as
think,
a date? Honestly, like, does it count as a date if other people are there? Can it really be a date if you're like with a group?
well, of course, but
I don't know.
I would like to consider my game a little stronger than having to guilt you into come to our first date. So we're not calling that one the first date either.
Again, we'll save that story for later. So what did we do for our first date? I really don't know.
Wow, all the romantic over here. You know what? We're not going into that because I don't feel like getting this angry on a Friday. So let's just pretend
Like
you
what
know
was
what it was and what advice, what would you tell yourself if you had the chance before whatever made up event you're making up in your mind right now?
what would I tell me? Not what would I tell you? What advice would I give me?
Yes.
He's not the a-hole he comes across as.
Wow. Wow.
There's a whole hell of a lot more to you than one would think. At least that version of you back then. Like, there's a whole lot more to you
I've got a lot of
than
layers like an onion.
right. So yeah, that's probably what I'd say is he's not the a-hole that can come across as. And I mean, obviously I didn't think you're a
Well,
complete a-hole. I wouldn't have even
I
given you a chance.
I feel like that sentence should probably be like, he's not just the a-hole that he comes across as. Because let's be honest, it's there.
No, absolutely. And I
Right.
mean,
So
but that's part of your
you gotta
charm. I mean,
throw in
that
the
is part of what
just.
attracted.
Right. I know, but
I
you gotta
like the
throw in the
fact that you're a
just
little
is
bit
what
of
I'm
an
saying.
a-hole.
Well,
Sure.
I know you do because you giggle and you blush and you do a little thing with your hair.
It's more trying to explain to people. I think how sometimes like you talk about like I try to like you don't say it in this way, but I try to like brace people for you, for lack of better phrasing.
Sure.
And I think it's because it's not actually for the fact that you're like, you know, saying something some like offhanded remark or being a little bit blunt or being a little bit of an a-hole. I don't think that that's why I try to like, I think more so is I'm actually afraid that people will judge you only on that. And
No.
because truly, like it makes me a little teary eyed. I don't know why, but like, because I know there's so much more to you. No, I know. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Hashtag menopause.
You did not.
Oh my lord. See? Asshole.
I am not there yet. Not even not even what's the first one called? Perimenopause.
I
And
don't
no judgment.
why
If
the
you're in
hell would I know that?
menopause, if you're in perimenopause, no judgment. I'm obviously on the heels of it. But
The
I'm
heels?
not
Is
there
that the
yet. Oh my gosh.
you Are you in the foothills of Menopause Mountain? We're just boldly exploring these here foothills.
Hope I packed right for this adventure.
Good Lord.
You were just trying to take it. You were trying to keep me from crying, is what you're trying to do.
If you say so.
Anyways, that's what I would tell the initial me. Obviously, I stuck around long enough to figure that out, but I think it, I would let myself know that.
Obviously, you were here for it.
Apparently, what advice would you give yourself?
No, that's not how this game's working.
No,
Sorry, you didn't draw that
we
card.
have the option to do that, so do it.
Oh, just making shit up as we go, I guess.
Okay, that's what we do.
Um,
Right.
what would I say to myself?
I feel like I need to insert the Jeopardy song. Do 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 do
Don't be that
do
person.
do.
Um, you know, probably just hey man, just be you,
Do you feel like
right?
you weren't?
Because well, I mean, isn't that like lot of the whole
I
first
know.
date, second date thing, right? Like you
I
try to
know.
put your best foot forward, and you know, um, that's always um a concern of mine, right? That like I don't always let myself be myself.
Sure.
So that's probably what I'd say.
So just let your freak flag fly, not fry.
No, that would be my advice to you. If I could go back and
Oh,
I'd be like,
oh.
hey girl, this guy is something else. Just let your freak flag fly before you get to the foothills of Menopause Mountain.
Okay. What would I most likely be fired for?
That
Like from
mouth. No, not in
really?
not
You
in
think
the
that
dirty.
you're probably right. Like, and I mean that. I
Yeah,
mean that. I mean that for real.
right. No, I know because what would happen is like, and quite honestly, I'm surprised you were able to make it at Kites because I'm surprised that like someone didn't come in and ordered chicken fried steak with a salad and whatever dressing, and then the kitchen boys screwed it up and you took it to them, and she got her little Karen hat on and you got your bigger Karen hat on, and it just went from there. And then poor Mike Phillips would have to come over and like try to soothe everybody, and you'd flip a table over, or you'd throw a drink on somebody, and
I mean, I'll get
ultimately be your
behind
mouth.
most of that, except it would never be over just the fact that someone like screwed up an order or didn't like it. Like
That
I
nope, nope,
I
nope,
get
nope.
mouthy
See,
over things that matter.
right? No, oh my lord,
What did I do?
you you like missed the forest for the trees. Okay, you were not getting mouthy because the order was wrong.
Oh,
The
they
customer got
were.
mouthy because the order was wrong.
And
Said the
then
wrong thing to you.
because they were
You
being
come in here
rude.
with that obvious dye job and mess up my order and blah blah blah, and off to the races.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's who I am. Fine with it.
So you asked that one, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to ask me the same, or how
No,
does that
we
work
don't
then?
have to do it. I don't really feel compelled. I
Oh,
ask you that one.
okay.
And I don't really care why you would be fired. I mean, I'm not really intrigued by it.
Wow.
Next question.
Okay. If our first kiss was a song, what would it be called?
This is super sloppy.
Yeah, you did get a little loose on that.
It was not me. Thank you very much. I don't know that I remember the very first kiss. I remember you kissing me in your car because we walked to your car because your car was closer and you were then taking me to my car and you kissed me when we got to your car in the car. And I mean, it was, I think I've told you this before because I was like, I was a little like, I don't know about the whole kissing thing. But it was just like that one time. I think it's because you had been drinking.
Yeah, I had been drinking. Because other than that, I'm a
Just a little.
phenomenal kisser.
You are a really good kisser, but that first one, yeah, just
What are you gonna
isn't it?
do?
Okay, ready?
No, not interested in the return shot of that one either, huh?
Well, what would you call
Wow.
it? You'll probably well, what would you call it? You queued something up.
Can you hear it? It's not
No,
coming. Dang
I
it.
can't.
Me so horny.
Oh my
Two Live
gosh.
Crew. That would have been a banger.
That's like so predictable.
I know, but hey, what are you gonna do,
I'm
right?
sorry. If this
That's
was
my
not like an
Caesar.
unfiltered podcast, we could go back and like edit it and whatever, but then we wouldn't be true to who we are. So, you tried.
Anyway, what's your question?
Um, question. Play a
Yeah,
round
that's what we're doing.
play a round of rock, paper, scissors. Loser must do anything their partner wants. I
We're
picked this one
playing.
because it would be fun. Ready? We are. Wait, is this is best 2 out of 3?
I don't
Okay.
know. You're the one that drew the card.
2 out of 3. Ready? You gotta go at the same time. I won.
You won.
Again. You were oh my gosh. You like really suck at rock, paper,
I did
scissors.
scissors. I win that one. 1-1. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
We're on tape delay. This is the dumbest idea ever.
Well, I didn't realize that would happen. I'm sorry. Okay. What weakness of yours do I help compliment the most? What
What
weakness of
weakness of
yours?
mine do you compliment the most?
Oh my gosh. And this is a question like I actually like this question because I think that this is like I don't know, it's something that I don't think is talked about a lot with relationships or I don't hear it talked about a lot. Like you're different people and that's like there's beauty in that in a relationship. You're not both going to have the same strong points. And
Right.
instead of like looking at those things as things that work against you, looking at how those things actually help you become stronger.
Sure.
Because, okay, anyways,
Complimentary.
yeah.
Um, my my lack of attention for detail in many
Hmm.
things. Like you tend to be a little more focused on the details of, well, how are we going to do that? What. Whereas I'm just like, I'm over here dreaming shit up.
You are the dreamer of the relationship. I mean, I
Visionary
dream
is
too,
the
but
proper
you're the
way to say it.
visionary, right? You
Right.
have unabandoned, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm rolling with it. You have like unabandoned hope and positivity for the grandest of things. And I like to dream too, but I prefer to say I'm a little bit more of a realist. I
Right.
just think of the other side. You
Well,
tend to
I'm a
think
realist too.
you are a realist. You just
The
tend to
the
think of
real the
only one.
reality is, hey, has it all worked out? Just say no.
No,
Well, then it's not done yet because it will all work out.
I love that about you. I also get really annoyed over it with you, but I actually love that about you.
No, I know. Both things.
Mm. Would you like to ask that question in return?
Sure.
Your patience. Because
I know. Oh,
I am
not patient.
very impatient.
Yeah.
I've gotten better. Don't you? I mean, and
Yes.
you
Listen.
don't have to agree, but I do think I've gotten better.
No, you have gotten much better because I rub off on you.
You do. And that's helpful. And I appreciate, like, again, frustrates the hell out of me in the moments, some moments, but I am very thankful for your centeredness. And I think the more that you have learned that about me, that that's kind of part of my human nature, not that I can't change that. Note,
Sure.
listeners, even that's even if that's your default, it doesn't mean that that can't be changed. But I think the more that you've understood that about me, it's allowed you to step in and really capitalize on your strength of being patient and calm and whatnot. So,
Capitalize.
mhm. All right, you are next.
What did you think my type was before we met?
I don't like that question.
I don't care.
Your type?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I was ever one to like classify guys.
Okay.
I mean, I don't like, am I supposed to list like a category you fit
I
into
don't
or
know.
just like the kind of, I mean, I feel like it's redundant. Like you were a guy, you were kind of an a-hole. There was some charm to
No, no,
you.
no, 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 no.
I see, I don't know what you mean then.
You're missing the
Clearly, I said I am missing what this is asking for. So help me understand, please.
what did you think my type was
Oh,
before
like the kind
there?
of
Oh,
girl
click,
you are looking for.
click.
I mean, I don't even know that I really thought about it. I definitely didn't think that I was your type, but that had more to do with me than you.
Sure, sure.
Well, no, like that had to do more with like my own insecurities and
Right.
perceptions of you that I was not someone or something that would be on your radar. But I
Gotcha.
don't know that
But you
you
had that
didn't.
mouth for conversation.
I did, but you didn't necessarily think that I was your quote unquote type, right? I mean, don't you
No.
like?
And listen, that is why you use all sorts of fishing lures because you never know what kind of fish is going to taste the best until you've tried them all.
You sure tried your fair share of them.
You know, again, well, you got me right in the.
Is that where I hooked you?
Ugh.
Okay. What's something I'm too hard on myself about?
Um. Well, I don't know the right way to say this. Um. You do a really not good job of giving yourself grace.
Yeah.
Of like, it's not like one specific thing. Like,
Yeah, no, I
oh,
get it.
you always forget to carry the one when you're doing addition.
Right.
It's
Just overall, right.
whatever
Anything.
area that you might, misstep in. Like,
Yeah.
you do a really not good job of giving yourself grace and
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I did that, but guess what? I got another shot tomorrow.
Yeah, I have high expectations of myself. And I don't even know really where that truly stems from. I mean, I kind of do. Like my parents had high expectations for us as kids, but not, I don't know. I can sit here and be like, I don't think they were like out of line or too high or whatever, but who knows what was going on inside of the brain. Um, but no, I just have very high expectations of myself. And yeah, like grace is challenging. I think grace is challenging no matter who you're trying to give it to, but definitely it's challenging to give it to yourself.
Sure.
I feel like you don't have the right. I don't have the right to give myself grace. Like I don't have the right to let myself make mistakes. Like that's someone else. Someone else should be the one to be like, "Oh, that's okay." I don't know.
What a
You're
terrible
looking
viewpoint that is.
It is a terrible viewpoint. I've been working on it.
Because like, right, because then like, you know, ultimately on this physical realm, like all we have is ourselves, right? Like everybody else is transient. And so if you're always looking at like, oh, well, someone else should be the one that gives me grace for this, that, and the other thing, like, guess what? It's a long, miserable existence.
I know. And it leads to you're waiting on other people to free you
Right.
when
Right.
you can free yourself. I get it. I get it.
Okay, we'll fix it.
I'm working on it.
No, right now.
Flip the switch. Um,
Boing, done.
I think that something you are too hard on yourself about is
I didn't ask if you wanted to ask me this question.
oh, wow.
I'm just kidding.
Saucy
Let it go. I
here.
don't care.
No, I think you're too hard on yourself, and it doesn't really fit with this statement, but it gets to the same point. I think you're too hard on yourself when it comes to your gifts. I think you I think you underestimate your talents and abilities.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And so I
Well,
think you're
you
too hard
just
on
said it
yourself.
made
I think you
sense.
sell yourself short
Well,
in
sure.
some ways, which, most people do. But I think that I don't know, I just don't think you always see the value of the gifts that you are created with.
I could buy that for $1.
It's actually $5. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Which one of these? What could other couples learn from us?
I mean, here's my go-to for this because I could sit down and make a list of things of you could learn to not do this from us. You could learn to do this from us. But I think what couples could learn from us is just we are again, where are these freaking teeth? Like, I don't what is going on? It's not even
The
like
foothills. That's where they're coming from.
no, I think our commitment to each other and this life that we're building together, like, I firmly believe, like, we are all in on us. Like, there's just like I work with, the clients that I do fitness and nutrition coaching for and life coaching for, I talk to them about taking quitting off the table. And that's something that you and I, not necessarily in that exact phrasing, but quitting is off the table for us. And when you take quitting off the table, when you utilize that strategy that we've shared, same team, and quitting is off the table, it just removes, I don't know, it removes that feeling of, oh, there could be something that we won't make it through, right? Like when
Right.
you know that quitting is off the table for both of you, that you are both all in on you, um, it it just changes things. And, even in some of our really low and tough moments, because we have them, right? Um, I it's just always there, right? Even when and I can only speak for myself, like, even when I am, like, fed the up, it's just not an option. So, it immediately my focus goes to, "Okay, well, what do we gotta do about this?
Right.
What's it gonna take? What are we gonna have to what are we gonna have to work through together? What are we gonna have to pull on?" Whatever, like, don't do it.
I didn't. I didn't do
Don't do
anything.
it. So, that's my answer.
I like it.
What about yourself, fine sir?
Um, find a way to communicate. Right. Like you were saying at the beginning, like one of the things. So we were going on date nights, and you know, when you've been together for a while, like sometimes conversation doesn't like just go right.
Yeah.
Um, or you end up talking about the same old whatevers. Oh, hey, the kids did this and blah blah blah, right?
Or it becomes
And so
less
we found
intentional between each other, right?
right, right,
"Hey,
right.
it's a
I was getting there.
podcast,
If
like,
you'd
we
have
both get to talk."
shut your mouth hole for a second.
It's shut, go for it.
But so we tried these cards, right? which had some great conversations, and we uncovered some things that maybe we wouldn't have uncovered, or uncovered them quicker than we would have, right? So
Mhm.
just figure out a way to communicate and to keep communicating, no
Yeah.
matter how long you've been together.
Yeah, it's often the thing that gets lost unintentionally. It's often the thing that and I mean, like, people in general
Right.
tend to avoid, especially during tough stuff, you know? But, like,
Well, I think some of it just is a byproduct of familiarity, right? Like,
sure.
oh, we've been through so much, we've spent so much time together, like they should just know this thing.
Yeah,
You're like, no, that's not necessarily true.
right.
And if they don't know that thing and you navigate forward like they do know that thing, guess what's coming down the road? A little bit of heartbreak for you, because they don't know the thing that you thought they know.
Well, and again, we're always changing as people, or should be,
True
or
story. I change
somebody,
my
you know?
underwear damn near twice a week.
Yep. All right, final question. Unless
Oh,
you
I got
have
two left.
Oh, you have 2 left?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have 1 left I'm gonna ask. Do you have 1 left that you really would like to ask?
I have one that I'll ask.
I have 2 left that one of them I'm gonna save because it it would be better served on another show.
Oh, tease you there.
Okay. If our relationship was a Netflix series, what would it be called?
American Nightmare.
You
Just
can't
kidding.
use that. We just watched that. You should watch that. If you haven't seen
It's
American
something
Nightmare,
else.
and it's only 3 episodes, which is a bonus because you can watch it really quickly.
Right.
And we thought one thing, or I thought one thing at the beginning, and then the second episode, I was thinking another thing, and then by the 3rd and final episode, it was like something differently entirely.
Completely.
It actually was a little
It was good.
disappointing at the end, let me say, and it's based on a I mean, it is a true
No,
story.
don't
Anyways,
stop.
what would you call
Um,
it?
I would call it, "How did two people get so lucky?"
Aw, really?
I mean, I said it. Why would
You
you
did say it.
really? Really?
What episode are we on?
69.
Okay, your question as we wrap this up
What's one thing you'd never change about a relationship?
that I would never change about our relationship.
Yeah, man.
The humorous, fun parts,
That's good
because
because it ain't gonna stop.
I know it. I know it's not. Um, yeah, I need that in my life.
Yeah, you do. Big time. Just saying, man. Listen, the foothills of Menopause Mountain can be a scary place. And you know what they say?
I don't know.
Laughter is the best medicine.
I just never know what's gonna come out of your mouth, and I'm just not
Get
always sure that I want to know what's gonna come out of your mouth.
giggles will get you into granny land, is
Into
what I'm
Granny
saying.
Land?
Well, yeah, because that's on the other side of Menopause
Oh
Mountain.
my gosh, stop it. I am young. Thank you very
I know you
much.
are. I listen, baby, I know you are.
In fact, my
Uh,
birthday's coming up. You got a
indeed it
plan? You got a
is.
plan?
Don't worry about what I got.
I won't. I won't. All right. That's all we got for you today. Again, this wasn't necessary. I mean, hopefully you learned a little bit more about us. Hopefully you got a couple nuggets of value that you can apply in your own life. If nothing else, go get this. Start
Yeah,
I mean, even one a day before
right.
you go to bed at night or something with your spouse or significant other. It just helps to keep you connected, because the more connected that we are, whether in a relationship or with friends or family or whatever, the more you know about each other, the more you're seeking to learn and understand, the better off everything's going to be.
True story. Like Ted Lasso says, just be curious.
Does he say that? We've never watched that, so I don't know what he says.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole I'll show you later. There's a great YouTube clip.
Okay.
Just be
I'll let you,
curious.
I'll let you just be curious later.
Well, I'm gonna be. all up in your conversation hole. And see, you know, is there like a goodbye? Is there a, hey, that was really good, I'm gonna go ahead and drop off now? Nope. Just hits the button and disappears. Leaves me hanging. It hurts, I guess, is what I'm getting at. What are you gonna do? Showbiz ain't easy.